And as always, your views and comments are welcome. Just send us your comments on our social media platforms. On Facebook, look for us at Joy News. On Twitter, also look for us at Joy News on TV. Send us a tweet with the hashtag The Pulse. We'll be glad to share your thoughts with the rest of the world. As I say all the time, this show is interactive, so keep your comments coming as much as possible. We begin today with some politics, and it's about the re-registration exercise. Joy News checks have revealed that the list of the 56,000 persons who were deleted from Ghana's electoral roll because they registered are ridden with errors from repeated names and numbers to wrong NHIS card holders. Shortly, my colleague Joseph Akable will join me in the studio. He has been studying the documents and to highlight what the problems have been in relation to this list that has been issued by the EC to help everyone be able to identify whether or not their names have been deleted and what to do starting next week Monday to help with the process and ensuring that if your name is deleted, you have that chance to re-register. If not, you can also tell a friend to check the list as well. Shortly, Joseph will join me in a studio with this analysis, but we know that already some concerns are being raised by pressure groups, including the Let My Vote Count Alliance. Well, today, they are accusing the EC of not presenting the right list to Ghanaians for scrutiny. I'm talking about the list of individuals whose names have been deleted. We can hear from their convener, David Asante, speaking to us earlier today on News Desk.
Question Ghanaians, the list didn't exist. The EC couldn't produce it. And even if they do, they will lie to the court. Eventually, they forged lists and names and produced 56,000 of them. Now, we have tried the best we can as Let My Vote Count Alliance not to narrow the debate to 56,000 names and the accuracies or inaccuracies, therefore or thereof, in the list. It would narrow the scope of the debate. So we have desisted from joining the Electoral Commission along that ungodly path of discussing the 56,000 names. Because we have told Ghanaians the list itself is fictitious and a forged set of lists. When we spoke to Ghanaians and told Ghanaians the list the Electoral Commission presented to the court and the plaintiffs, we went through them and saw card numbers and telephone numbers. 56,000 names. In the last few hours, you see the problems you have identified. That exposes the wobbly nature of the Electoral Commission as an election management body taking us into election 2016. Look, this particular expose, I'm sure should bring to bear how wobbly the commission is as far as their preparedness for the elections ahead of us is concerned. But our position is that we still maintain the EC forged and faked NHIS card numbers. The 56,000 names are non-existent. They never ever existed in Ghana's electoral register. They were forged, they were faked, they have never deleted a single name. We are telling you this on authority. But the point is, the expositions are so mind-boggling that Ghanaians have seen through the inherent deceit at the commission.
Right, so that's for the Let My Vote Count Alliance. They are raising some concerns to do with the list that we've been given by the EC. They look at it as more of a list that was not properly put together. They are accusing the EC of something else. But let's look at the details of what we've been able to independently verify in this list that has been given to us by the EC. As I mentioned, Joseph Akable has been studying the documents and joins me now in the studio with more. Good afternoon to you, Joseph. So you've done some digging into this 56,000 list of individuals who register with the NHIS cards. They have been deleted, but what are the details you found so far?
Well, Francis, first and foremost, we need to understand that when you pick the list that was published by the EC, they identify the individuals according to numbers. So we have number 1 all the way to the 56,000 to the last number. Then aside that also, we have the individuals' NHIS card number available as well as the voter's ID card number. Now looking through the list, one observation I made first and foremost is the fact that for some individuals, you have their names appearing twice. And one particular name that I noticed, that name appears twice with, it has the same NHIS card number, but different voter ID card number. And we are talking about number 3,987 on the list published by the Electoral Commission, 3,987. The name is Afi Bedi. So Afi Bedi appears as 3,987, also appears as 3,988. Yet the voter's ID card number is 1299005908. 1299005908. For the voter's ID card for the next affidavit again is 129900, but this time the last 4 digits there's a difference. The first one is 5908. For the second one, the last 4 digits is 8290. For the NHIS card number is the same number for affidavit. So that is it. There's one observation over there. Then again, what we must understand is the fact that for the voter ID number, it's a 10-digit number, whilst that of the NHIS card number is 8 digits. There were some of the names on the list that the numbers in terms of the voter ID card number is less than the 10, while the NHIS card number is also less than 8. So an example we can look at is 1408 Abrefi Efia. With Abrefi Efia, the voter ID number is 403508582, and that ends it. So it's 9 digits instead of the 10 digits. For the same Abrefi Efia, the NHIS card number is also absent. There are other examples in there as well. We also have some individuals who, instead of the NHIS card number being written, you rather have the abbreviation NHIS written over there.
Which should have been the number that should have been there. The number
that should have been there. So you have just NHIS written over there. Then there are others also that you have letters as part of the NHIS card number. So instead of having it as numbers, you rather have some alphabet added to it. So an example is Abochi Maupemo. That is 1402 on the list. 1402 on the list, Abochi Maupemo. And for that particular person, NHIS card number is VRKT. Then the numbers begin 10542. Then you also have another alphabet B10. So that is those are some of the observations I made as I looked through the list published by the Electoral Commission.
Okay, so this is what Joseph has been able to uncover in the 56,000 list of individuals whose names have been deleted and are looking to have themselves re-registered, with that process that's starting next week Monday. But already the concerns are clear on the wall that there's a lot of work that the EC needs to do between now and Monday when the process begins to rectify these anomalies as highlighted in the document. We're trying to get in touch with the EC to get some responses on these concerns that have already come up in the list that has been presented to us. Also remember that there's been a lot of talk also about people asking that maybe we should begin to look beyond just the 56,000 names that have even been identified, which are also written with errors, and also look at other names as well that are found on the voters register who registered with the NHIS card, so that the entire process can be looked at once again. Joining us now on the line for more on this discussion is a member of the Let My Vote Count Alliance, Ibrahim Ejay. Thank you, sir, for joining us here on the program. We've already heard the concerns you raised about this register being error-ridden, but what have you also uncovered looking at this list that has been given to us by the Electoral Commission?
Thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity to speak on Joy News. What we found is in fact similar to what your resource person has just mentioned in the studio. There is numerous duplications and in some cases triplications of the same person, sometimes same polling station, same NHIS number. Apparently it's an NHIS number. How we can authenticate that and verify that needs to be looked at also, which runs into 100. Which means that even when the Supreme Court told them to rectify what Thaddeus Sori, the lawyer for the EC, called an oversight, they're still presenting the same bogus numbers. Because if you rectify the oversight, you cannot reproduce the same 56,000. Yeah, that's what they're purporting to have deleted. And the numbers we found, if you check with the DVLA, you'll find that some of the car numbers are DVLA or car registration numbers. Others are passport numbers. All the NHIS numbers, they're unique, and they are 8 digits. 8 digits. Yet you have some which are 4 digits, some are 6 digits. Others are, as I mentioned, alphanumeric, which equate to DVLA numbers. And I'm hoping that what we're trying to do at Let My Vote Count is try to get that database from the DVLA to match it and bring it to the attention of Ghanaians.
Okay, but Mr. J, briefly.
One minute. A criminality has taken place, purported by the EC, producing bogus fake names with that they seem to have dreamed up.
Okay, but in these anomalies that you have identified, do we know how many of these names are on this register that are not supposed to be, or there are big issues with the numbers?
Good. What I can tell you, if you go to our Facebook page, Let My Vote Count the Lines, it's just LMVCA. It's just the acronym. And you'll see where we've invited Ghanaians to come and actually offer any information if they've registered with the NHIS card. And we've done some cross-checks, just some samples, and you have names, numerous names, which Ghanaians have said they registered with the NHIS card, but they are not on this purported list, bogus list, that the EC has presented to the Supreme Court, no less. Now, here is the conundrum that we have. We can present these names to the EC, and they can say that these names are fake, or these numbers are not illegitimate. How can we prove that? How can we cure the doubts? It's quite simple. We need to cross-examine the data, or the source from which the EC said they extracted 56,000 names, which apparently registered with NHIS. In every court of law in this world, you have what we call cross-examine the evidence. Now, the EC tell us that they went through 14.5 million registration documents and were able to extract 56,000 of those documents that captured the data as registered with NHIS. We want the EC to give a copy of those 14.5 million documents to the Ghana Bar Association. Give a copy to Abu Ramadan and Evans Nembako's lawyers. Give a copy to multimedia so that you also can check, or rather cross-check, if indeed it's 56,000 or less or more. This will cure the doubt and the criminality that the EC have done at the Apex Court.
Sorry,
list.
Mr. J.
It's a fake list.
It's one thing to say that you have your doubts about this, but to equate it to criminality, that will be difficult to prove, isn't it?
Well, the criminality is this. When you lie or perjure yourself in court, it's called perjury. It's a crime.
Has the court already established that they have lied to the court, or there's a case of perjury here? Is that your determination or the court's determination?
Well, what the Tadiasori admitted in court was an oversight. So let's assume the oversight is there. One or two names you can say is an oversight. Then it runs into thousands upon thousands upon thousands. That is not an oversight. That is a deliberate and willful misleading to the Supreme Court. And that is a crime.
Which is your judgment, sir?
Sorry, sir?
Which is your judgment?
That is not my judgment. It's the fact on the ground. Sorry, in fact, because Georgina Wood said, how is it that some names do not have NHIS names? How is it that some have alphanumeric? We were in court, and I believe Joy FM, Joy News, you were represented. I'm speaking verbatim, or as close as verbatim as I can, to Georgina Wood, the Chief Justice's remarks to Tadiasori about this is an oversight. When it runs into thousands of names, you cannot say it's an oversight. If it's an oversight, then the EC in Charlotte should resign their post, because clearly we have people mismanaging such a critical part of our democratic
Mr. J, briefly, yes, we've identified the problems with this list that has been given to us. Going forward, what do we do in curing this problem?
Good. I think going forward, quite simple. Let Ghanaians have a copy of the source data, the Form 1A. The EC went through 14.5 million documents and found 56,000 who had registered with NHIS. Because at the point of registration, your data was captured as to how you registered: passport, driver's license, NHIS document, or two Ghanaians who witnessed for you. Since they've captured NHIS, we of course assume that they captured the other categories of registrations also. So they should give a copy. Citizen Ghana got a court order, a subpoena, which forced the Ministry of Transport, under then Jifa Ativo, to give documentation as to how they awarded a contract of 3.6 million Ghana cedis to rebrand buses.
Sorry, what's the correlation here?
The correlation is this. By getting a subpoena, you can find out if AC are giving us the full data or if they're lying. Because the correlation is simply this. Citizen Ghana found out that the Ministry of Transport gave out the contract to Celeste Ibrahim before they even tendered, because they didn't match. They gave out the contract in July of 2015, and then they awarded the contract, then they tendered the contract August, a month after awarding the contract. So by getting a subpoena, this is the correlation, we can then find out if indeed there are only 56,000 names or more. That's what we need to do in Ghana.
Okay.
And never in the world can one party bring evidence and the other party cannot cross-examine that evidence. We need to do that. And I'm appealing to Joy FM Multimedia to actually do that. You have a strong man in your team, Manasseh Azure, who has been doing wonderful work for our democracy and journalism as a whole. And we believe that you have the locus to actually obtain a subpoena.
What about you, Let My Vote Count Alliance? What would you be able to do in this matter? It's one thing to say the others should do it, but what about you?
Absolutely. We've been doing this for 4 years. Georgina Wood said it's a shared responsibility. And that responsibility goes to the fourth estate, which is the media. And we want you
and not to you as well, Let My Vote
process.
Count Alliance?
We've been doing it we've been bringing the errors and the mismanagement of the EC to bear for 4 years. And we'll continue doing it by God's grace.
Okay.
What we're asking for is support from also the media.
All right.
You have a vested interest in Ghana, just as everybody does. And you are a brand to be reckoned with. I'm talking the multimedia group. You are a household international brand. We want you to use your offices to also support the process and also subpoena. Subpoena is only not one person. If we subpoena, you two can also subpoena. And you'll get a soft copy of 14 million names.
I guess the point is made, Mr. J. I want to say thank you for your time. I'm sure the point is made. Thank you, sir, for joining us this afternoon. Ibrahim J is a member of the Let My Vote Count Alliance. So clearly, issues have been raised about the list of names of individuals who are supposed to go and re-register starting next week, Monday. We've already seen some of the numbers that do not add up. Also, some issues to do with the names being repeated with different numbers but the same NHIS card numbers. Let's see what the Electoral Commission does about this. As I mentioned earlier, we're trying to get them to speak to clear up these anomalies that we've seen in this list. We'll see what happens in the coming days. But the EC has also been encouraging Ghanaians, even before they deal with these issues, to visit the Commission's district offices to check whether their names have been deleted from the electoral roll. The Commission's Director of Communication, Eric Jakwasu, spoke earlier today on the AM show.
Asking people to go to the various district offices. You see, the emphasis, the focus is on at the district level. That is the point of registration. So we expect that people will go to the various district offices, the polling stations during the exhibition, where they are going to check their details and particulars in the voters register, the main and the provisional voters register, to check whether their names are there, so that when you find your name there, from Monday 18th of July up to the 28th of July, you carry along the necessary documents of proof of eligibility. In this case, we're talking about your passport, your driver's license, your national identification card. If you don't have any with 2 guarantors, then you go and do the re-registration exercise.
So where's the registration taking place? Is it all polling stations or where?
The registration is taking place online at the affected districts of the Electoral Commission. You know, it is not every district which return the NHIS card registrants. So there are some districts this exercise will not take place. But affected districts, you have to go to the district office of the commission and do your online registration.
But I see, for instance, Equiasera. There is no location. So how do I know that you're referring to me, Equiasera?
You see, the argument stands that when you publish it only in the national daily, it is not everybody who will get access to the newspaper, and we are serializing it, and people, that may not be an easy way of getting it, but it's a means of notifying and publicizing it. The focus is at the district level. So if you are a Piacera, just pick your voter's ID card, starting from Monday, go to your polling station and go and check, and know that you have between 18th and 28th of July to register if you are affected. So as you do this, you are at the same time taking part in the exhibition exercise. You are undertaking your civic responsibility of helping the Electoral Commission to produce a credible register for the election. At the district level, it will be by means of publicity vans, and then through some of the local FM stations and publication on the notices board of the district assemblies. Then at the district office, we have a complete album of affected people, their pictures, their names, their ID cards.
How about those whose cards have been missing and they want to, get the new cards?
That is an ongoing process. We started far back I think even before the registration exercise.
So is this ongoing now?
If you misplace your voter's ID card, go to any branch of the GCB bank, pay your 5 cedis, get a receipt, and go to the district where you registered, and you have a replacement ID card.
So that's the EC asking for all of us to help with the process of checking, cross-checking our names in the list that has been put out, so we get to help out in ensuring that anyone whose name has been deleted gets the fair opportunity to re-register. And for those as well whose names may have been deleted but did not use the cards, the NHIS cards for the registration, cross-checking will help so any problems with this list is sorted out as soon as possible. We'll go for a break at this point. When we come back, there's a lot happening. You remember the microfinance scam in the Volta region. We'll bring you an update. Plus, that issue to do with nutrition in Ghana today. It seems as though you and I may not have been eating the right foods we should. I'll bring you details of that after the break. Stay with us.